I've got my computer running, my 32-inch monitor is running, my air conditioner is running, I've got 12.4 volts on my batteries, and with the LED TV and the fan on the air conditioner running at the same time, I'm pulling 87, 88 watts. I'm gonna watch for that air conditioner compressor to kick in and see what we're pulling with the TV and the AC combined, and see what this system can do tonight. Let's put this thing to the test. It's 10:30. My air conditioner compressor kicked in. It's odd, I'm only using 430 watts with my TV and bug zapper outside and air conditioner, and I'm at 12.1 volts on the batteries under load. That's under 500 watts, nearly 400, well over 400 watts of load. 430. It should go up. I don't know why. It always starts out lower and then goes up higher after a couple minutes. But it works. It's running. So I'll see how long I can run this tonight before I have to shut it down. It's 12:15 at night, 77 degrees inside. Now, that may seem a little high, but there's no humidity in here due to the air conditioner, which is still running. It's been running since I turned it on at I think 9 o'clock about 3 hours ago, and running well. Now I did set it to 77 degrees, which is perfectly fine for me. I do not need 65 degrees, nor do I even want it. This is important. You can run your air conditioner in an off-grid setting like this with small solar panels and not high battery capacity. And as I'm showing you now, you can run it late into the night. I'll probably leave this all night long just to see what happens. But you do not need to set it at 65 degrees, because as I say, once the humidity's down, you stop sweating, it's all good, and you can sleep comfortably at night, and that is what's important. Batteries are at 2.2 volts. I'm pulling 87 watts. I am still running my LED TV and my laptop and my Humidity charger and my lights and my bug zapper. This is only showing the AC watts, the bug zapper and the LED TV, but I am running a heck of a lot of power out of this system, and I'm still sitting at the 12.2 volts. So I think the experiment is a success. The air conditioner is still running, and I think it's going to be alright. 3:30, 83 degrees inside, high humidity, and my batteries are unabsorbed. So I'm going to fire up the air conditioner. I just got home, been gone all day, and I'm sweating just sitting here talking to you. Just 5 minutes and I'm sweating terribly. So I'm going to fire up the air conditioner, and as you can see, 3:30 in the afternoon, the batteries are topped off completely. Just to show you, 84 degrees almost at 3:40 in the afternoon. As I said, I'm just getting home Thursday afternoon. Got it down to 73 in here now. Really nice and comfortable. That's lower than I wanted. I'll have to readjust this gauge, but it feels good. Well, my RV project is a little bit behind schedule, and actually I'm losing ground right now. I just come out here, I was hoping to do some work, but the problem is it's still been raining every day. We had a couple days of sun there for a bit. The humidity was really high, and the problem is I can't leave the windows open for fear of a sudden rainstorm, because one disadvantage with the RV is these straight up and down windows, and I need to get those awnings fixed right now, because what I can do is I could pull those awnings down and then I could leave these windows open. I'm going to have to use the awnings in this RV. With the camper, the way the windows open up, they open up outwards and at an angle like this, so that's fine, but the RV slides straight across. These are sliding windows, so this actually requires the awnings, and it's got one on both sides, on the front and the back side. So I have to get them going in order to finish this project. The awning's going to have to be the next thing to do, because it's so humid. I'm losing ground in here. It smells rotten now. I've had it closed up for 2 days solid because of steady rains, and it stinks in here now. It's not the rotting mouse stench that was before. It's more of a mildewy, stale air stench that you get when you close up a camper RV too long in the humidity. So yeah, tomorrow I think I'm going to have to get those awnings done so I can finish painting, finish working in here, and get this thing livable. I started out with the goal of proving that you can get off the grid on a budget. Now, I started out off the grid with some homemade solar panels. I was off the grid. I was living fully off the grid with my homemade solar panels. I'm not saying it was super ultra comfortable, but I did it. And off the grid means not connected to the wires, not connected. You won't see a power line here. You won't see a power cable. You won't see a utility here at all. And that's off the grid. There's no connection to the outside world. There's no wires. The only wires is the wires that I put on the solar panels. So I'd say this is a success. Now, some people have done the math and did some research, and I thank you guys for spending the time to calculate what I have so far. I think the number was something like, I don't know, $2,600, $2,500, $2,600 with everything to copy what I've done here. Okay, I did not buy the solar panels, but I don't care if I found them in the junk, bought them, made them myself, or what. The idea is to show you how to get your home off the grid for $5,000. I'm not saying I'm going to get my home off the grid for $5,000. I might spend more, I might spend less. I set out spending a lot of money on experiments because it's going to cost a lot of money to do experiments. When I made my first solar panel, actually my very first solar panel ever, which is pretty ugly right now, the thing has really been around, it still produces power. It's ugly, and it's taken some serious abuse, but it still produces power. And I researched a couple years and experimented with various materials and ideas, and yeah, that costs a lot of money. So you cannot calculate all that. When a scientist starts out to create, let's say somebody wants to make an iPod, well, he's going to spend tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars in experimentation and research and materials to create that iPod. That doesn't mean that the end customer, the end user, is going to spend that money on his iPod. The end user when he buys that thing, is going to spend a tiny fraction of that. And that's what I'm showing you. I'm showing you how to make your own solar panels to get off the grid if you want, not including the whole experimentation price and the cost of research and development that I went through for all those years, but for the cost of what it takes you to make a solar panel using the skills and experience that I've gained through the years. Same as buying an iPad for retail price instead of spending millions on research and development. So, no, you can't compare. You cannot take a price of anything I've invested and say Troy is showing you verbatim how to get off the grid, because my goal is to show you how to get your home off the grid on a budget through my experiences. There's a cute little guy on my solar panel. Anyway, I got distracted by nature here. So, when I write the book, it's going to cover what you will pay for these. Not the full retail value, because I think that's a bloated scam. People pay $5 to $10 a watt for these things. This solar panel, retail, normal price, would be $1,000. This one, just one. And that's insane. If you go to Google and type cheap solar panels, type $1 per watt solar panels. The first couple sites that come up, I'll have to look it up. I'll do the research and I'll show you guys later on. First couple sites that come up, you're going to find solar panels. They're all 24 volts. And you got to buy them by the pallet generally, so you can go with friends and neighbors. But you can find them for as low as 50, 60, 80 cents a watt. Average is 60 to 70 cents a watt. That is good, and that's what I'm going to show you at the end of the off-grid project. And I will have real retail solar panels for that low price myself when I'm done. I've gone through a series of experiments and processes. I've gone through various solar panels. I've gone through different qualities of solar panels, so you don't have to. I'm doing the experiments so you don't have to. So please just trust me, bear with me, have patience, and at the end of the year I will have the book, and it's going to show you where to find this stuff cheap. So you can either make your own solar panels, better ones than these, because now I have the skills and the experience behind me to show you how to make better solar panels, better than I made, or to find them ready-made on a budget. And that's the idea. Now, I'd say one part is a huge success is, by the way, I did cut the grass, I did dig this out, and I do have all 4 solar panels hooked up. These are series, wired in series to give me 48 volts, and these are wired in series to give me 48 volts. And what I was doing, I had forgotten this because there was that bird nest in there. What I was doing is during peak sun hours I would run out and I would plug in only those 2 panels, because I was getting a fair amount of power, and my charge controller can only handle 60 amps. During cloudy and overcast times I'd plug in this set of panels, this pair, to give me a little bit extra boost. The reason these were never used, although Tim bought them back in that day when they were cheap, is because my charge controller can't handle that current. And I didn't want to fry it if I ever left home on a cloudy, overcast morning and come home and there was peak sun and I had a smoked, burnt charge controller, or maybe a burnt hulk of a camper due to a fire. So I've been manually switching these back and forth as needed, and I need to work on some circuitry to hook these up during cloudy periods to give me even more power, and I'll be all set. But honestly, 600 to 800 watts of solar, I have now proven for a fact through my own experience, is enough to run an LED TV. It's enough to run a computer. It's enough to run a laptop, I should say. I would advise, if you're getting off the grid, do not use a power-hungry desktop. I had to give up my computer gaming. I did. If you're a gamer, a hardcore gamer, you're going to spend more money powering your computer. That's just the way it's going to be. If you can handle living with a laptop, you can save money. It's a choice I had to make. I had to give up my gaming to save money. I used to be a gamer. I used to have my own internet cafe. I used to have, actually, I think I had six internet cafes when I lived in Germany on the American properties. And I had at one point 40 computers networked together gaming in one room at the same time. I had to give that up in order to do this experiment, because now all I have is a laptop. There are sacrifices. I don't have a massive freezer. Instead, I dry and preserve my foods, which I will teach you. You're going to have to make some cuts or spend more money on solar. These are options, these are choices. But it's a lifestyle change, and I hope to show you how you can do it through my own experience. Rainwater collection. It's free. This was all put together out of free junk I found. Now most of you have a house, so you have an advantage over me, because I know not everybody has these 40-foot long sheets of metal laying around in the backyard like I found. I got lucky. But when I do write the book, I'm going to count this stuff, because this is about $5 to $6 a sheet, and that you will need if you don't have it. Most houses have rain gutters, but anyway, there's your source of rainwater right there on your own house. I just had to put mine up. So I think the solar part was a success. I think so far I'm very pleased with how that turned out. I have a refrigerator off the grid. I have an air conditioner off the grid. I'm running lights. I actually have all LED lighting. I have 18 LED lights in my camper, and I don't worry about turning them on or off to save energy, because it doesn't make a difference now. I learned that you need more batteries than solar panels. I learned that through experimentation. If you want to truly live off the grid, not grid tied, but truly off the grid, not connected to the grid, you don't need as many solar panels as you do batteries. I'm pulling in, I think I just calculated, I don't want to lie, I think I just calculated I'm pulling in 6.4 kilowatts of power in a day. I get 8 hours of electricity due to these trees. So I figured I pulled in maximum 6.4 kilowatts. Probably about half that if you want to get literal and consider angle of sun and all that. But it's a decent amount of energy. The RV is going to be even better, more energy efficient, and much more comfortable. Again, for those of you who have a house, you can just forget about the RV. I live in the forest. I don't have a house. I don't have a home. So this is going to be my home. For those of you who own land and property, I'm happy for you. That's very good. And you already have half of what you need. So, you know, if people are watching the Off-Grid Project, this is a side issue, so I'm sorry. But I do have to live, and winter's going to be vicious, so I have to get this going. My camera's constantly shaking. Mosquitoes. Talk about vicious. Mosquitoes out here this year are terrible. You will get eaten alive outdoors. You will have to learn to live with it if you live in the forest, if you live in the wilderness, and it's part of life. The pioneers had to learn to live with it as well, and I think they just learned to accept it. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. Those bugs hanging like a cloud over my head all the time, it's just part of life, I guess. I look at the animals and they don't complain or whine either, so I guess it's just how it is. But anyway, the projects will continue. For those of you who are enjoying, I hope you continue to. For those of you who are learning, I'm happy to be able to be helping so many people. I had somebody say, well, you consider this to be a success, and I think, yes, so far I think I've come a long way in this little spot in a short time. I'd say it's a success so far, and I'm going to keep plowing along. I know there are many of you who enjoy watching my videos because I often mention a post-apocalypse or post-collapse scenario. Well, I think that there's a lot of stuff here that can show you how to survive in a post-collapse scenario. All of this out here was free, except for my little $10 windmill. But in a post-collapse scenario, if you watch The Colony, which I watched for free online, The Colony was a series. It was sort of rigged up. I mean, it was scripted, but it was entertaining, and you learn about the mentality, and you learn some of the ideas and basics and necessities of what you'll need in a post-collapse scenario. I am a prepper and a survivor. That's why it gets mixed up and confusing sometimes when I talk about living off the grid, and I mention sometimes a post-collapse scenario. Maybe I should separate the two and make separate videos and not mention them mixed in with each other, because if the system collapsed, The Colony gives you an idea of what it's going to be like out there. And this is all salvage materials, just like how that would have been. And in a post-collapse scenario, you're going to run around, scrounge around in people's places, homes, businesses, and you're going to find solar panels, windmills, even a decorative yard windmill. That's all this is. I'm going to make this produce power. I could take a junk microwave and a junk hard drive from a computer and a junk stereo and make myself a generator. And basically I'm going to show you how to do that soon, using parts that I salvage out of scrapped junk. And that is useful in a post-collapse scenario. So for those of you watching for those points, please stay tuned. There's a lot more to come as well.